Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is the mayor of Fitchburg. We got him right here in person, Aaron Richardson. Aaron, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back.
Glad to have you here in person. Not, usually I catch you wherever, and I'm wherever, so it's just nice. It's nice to be back here. We got a lot to get to today. We're going to jump right into it. We're in the midst of budget season right now. You put your budget out a couple weeks ago. People can go check that out online, fitchburgwi.gov. What are some highlights in the budget this year?
The biggest thing this year is we really now need to incorporate the town of Madison. And so that is really having a huge impact on the budget as a whole and really driving a lot of new staff positions. So there's a lot of new staff positions. Almost every department is going to be impacted and given more capacity. That's necessary. There's a few departments that I couldn't quite get to. I will next year, hopefully, depending on how everything works out. But that's the plan, is for next year to do that. Really try to do positions that have a broad impact and do a couple of really new, innovative things as well. Two things I'm really excited about that are new. One is we want to add more social workers to the senior center because we're getting a lot more senior developments and they have a huge need. But then as we were thinking about it, we also thought about, okay, what about having that position where maybe they can't use a full person, but maybe it's a full-time position that is half senior center and half police department. And so that person now is also going to have a foot in the police department and can really help with all the things that they're dealing with. And that's where I think when you start looking at different ways of providing police services, that's a really innovative or neat way that I'm really excited about seeing how that comes forward, because I think they can be a little more proactive. And then, excuse me, you might have people who aren't using the police department in 911 for social work. We're actually having a social worker being proactive for that. So I'm really excited about that piece. And then another piece that I think a lot of people here hopefully are going to be excited about is what's called like a clerical float position. And that's going to be a position that helps a lot of different departments, especially in their busiest times of year. And so for the elections, it can help out the clerks. When we're doing something like economic development does their business luncheon, maybe they help out with that. And there's a bunch of departments that have these things that someone can do that doesn't need to be an expert in planning and zoning, but they can help out that department and free that staff up to do those things that they're trained for. They don't have to just send out emails and collect information. This position can do that. And then another thing that's exciting about that is it's an entry-level position, but you get exposed to so many different parts of the city that you might say, oh, I never even considered assessing before. This is interesting. And that's an area that we have a hard time filling positions because it's not something that people really think about. And so it might be a really good feeder program into some of these other departments as well. So we're very excited about that.
That is good. Both the police want that. That's huge, and we're seeing a lot of departments do that across the area and the country. And the flow, we have temporary. You have these temporary pieces, but that really definitely connects everything together. I think tax collection too. I mean, there's just so many different things. So good to see those come forward. As far as the process goes, then moving forward, this week we're in the midst of presentations by the departments. But what will happen next?
Yep. So after this week, all of the department heads go to the council and they talk about their budget and everything I put in there. There's a few things I didn't. We'll talk about those as well. And then the council members have about 10 days to send in amendments. And I know at our next council meeting, members of the public can come in and speak however they want, good or bad about my budget. And then after the amendments are in, then we'll discuss those amendments in our committee of the whole at the end of October. And then from there, we will then kind of vote on the final budget, the first meeting that we have, first official meeting in November, which is the second Tuesday of the month. We're going to have a special meeting the first Tuesday of the month, but it's the second Tuesday, which I think is November 9th, November 9th maybe.
Yeah, I believe it's the 9th.
Yeah.
We can clarify that one. And finally, it just occurred to me that you're the first mayor that's getting the longest term. Are we starting to see some of the benefits from that, that you have been in office a little bit longer and be able to carry the budgets on? Because that's a huge part of this.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of benefit to doing that, since this would be my third year, which, in theory would be that bonus year that we haven't had in the past. I actually have another year after this. I think it is helpful. I do feel like I've been able to build towards this budget for 2 years now. And knowing something like the town of Madison is coming up, I've been able to clean up a lot of things that were kind of just pushed back in the past. And so we've really, I think, gotten the budget in a great spot, and I'm being able to keep that consistency there. So I feel like it's been a great thing. I think 3 years is fantastic. So, we'll see going forward. I like to think that I'm an excellent mayor, so of course you want an excellent mayor to be around longer.
I'm not supposed to laugh for this, right?
Wait, why are you laughing?
You're not my boss. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I do. I agree. I think it gives you a little bit more grip into doing it, and definitely came at a really good time with Town of Madison, as mentioned. And we'll talk about Town of Madison more as that's coming up. So there's a lot of work happening behind the scenes on that. But budget kind of is that first big step, and we're putting it forward, even though the town isn't here yet. Coming next year. I want to get into redistricting really quick because that also is going on. Tell us the update on that front.
That's fast and furious. Unfortunately, we're usually supposed to have about 2 months to do this, and we don't this year because of some of the requirements we have in notifications. Really, this week we're hoping to and expecting to get what we think our map should be, and we're pretty limited, frankly, by a lot of different things. But we're going to keep the 4 districts, and they have to be about the same size. And so you look at the districts that have grown a lot, like 3 and 4, those need to get a little bit smaller. And then you look at something like District 1, who hasn't grown, but the city has grown. So we do need to make District 1 bigger. One of the things that we're really struggling with that they talked about last night was that right now, District 1 is what we call a majority-minority because there's so much great diversity in that district. But we have to add more people to the district. And unfortunately, everything around there that you would add doesn't have a lot of diversity. And so you're diluting that diversity. You want to make sure that all people in the city have a good voice, and you don't want to dilute that voice. So that's one thing that we're really struggling with right now. The limits that we have, though, really can kind of put it where you don't have a whole lot of options. And so we're doing that. The second piece to this, which isn't as time sensitive, is just looking at polling places, and so we're going to look at those and maybe move those around a little bit as well, and this group will do that. But it's fast and furious. We're having a special meeting on November 2nd to approve the maps, but you'll have some opportunities. I hope public can look at those and provide their input at one of our council meetings. That's probably the biggest thing for me that's most disappointing is because of this compressed schedule that is being put on us, we can't get the feedback from the public that would like to get.
Yeah, I think that's really important they did mention that because I would be questioning why is this happening so quickly, what's the meaning behind it, but it is, you were dealt the cards you were dealt with, more or less, and have to deal with that. All right, let's end on the Mayoral Award, something you had started up since you've been mayor, and when will this be happening?
We're going to have a ceremony on October 25th. It's a Monday night at 5 p.m. right here at City Hall, playing right now in the council chambers. Anyone is welcome to attend, and we're going to have the 3 winners like we've done the last few years where we recognize a member of the public, we recognize a business in Fitchburg, and then also there's a staff recognition as well. So those winners are going to be announced soon. And look to Fact TV for those winners.
I can't believe you're letting us announce it. How exciting. I'm so pumped. Well, we'll have that for you coming up here real soon. Aaron, thank you so much for your time as always. We're out of time. You take up so much time.
There's a lot going on.
That's a good thing. We like it. All right. We'll check back in with you hopefully next month.
All right. Thank you much.
You bet. Aaron Richardson, you can catch him online. Because we have all the meetings online where he's at, so I'm just saying. And make sure you check out the budget and follow the redistricting and the Mayor Awards coming up. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.